Hello. I have not been green since I turned myself into Shrek a few years ago. This is why I don't film while my family's home, because I do things like turn myself green and then it like borders on public humiliation. But also, like, I couldn't do this video without turning myself green. Please ignore my hands. I'm gonna try to cover them. I got gloves and everything, but like it's too hot in this room. I'm gonna do this because this is... But anyways, hi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am always like this. I am crazy. I do paint myself green for fun sometimes, whether to turn myself into Shrek or into Elphaba. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to see more. Okay, today we're gonna be talking about
What was that?
my new favorite movie, Wicked, the movie, part 1. I love this movie so freaking much. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And after talking about Emilia Perez, I needed to talk about a good musical. A musical that is actually worthy of a Golden Globe. Okay? I'm actually not familiar with the original story. I didn't know anything about this movie going into it. I knew about Wicked because it's hard not to know about it when Glee exists, you know? Like, I'm a Gleek. I am a Gleek, I'll fully admit it. And both Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth were on Glee, so it's hard not to know about the soundtrack. But in terms of the story, I knew nothing about it. I went in blind. Pink background for Glinda, pink notebook for Glinda, and a green face for Elphaba. Buckle up, I have a feeling this is going to be a very long video, so it's the type where you like put your headphones in, go wash your dishes, go clean your room, you know, go do your laundry. We're gonna be here a while. Anyways, without further ado, let's talk about Wicked. Okay, this movie opens with the end of the original Wizard of Oz, after the Wicked Witch of the West has been melted, and we get the scene of like a puddle of water and a hat in the middle of it, and Glinda confirms that she has been melted by a teenage girl, and then we see the flying monkeys fly over a rainbow. That was a nice touch. That was a really nice touch. We see Dorothy, the Cowardly Lion, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man walking on a yellow brick road. And then we get to see the people of Munchkinland, who were designed to look like Ethan Slater. Like, if I was Ethan Slater, I would cry myself to sleep. But instead, it got to his head, and he thought to himself, like, I really must be that guy, so let me cheat on my wife with a pop star. Men. Anyway, we see the people of Munchkinland, and they are celebrating the death of the Wicked Witch of the West. And it's a real like, they planted like 9 million or something like that poppy flowers, and it's a real functioning set where you can open and close the doors and like go into the little huts or whatever. I would love to go someday. I hope they keep it exactly like that, and if they turn it into a park or something, because I would love to go. I have no money, but I would love to go someday. And then they start singing, "No One Mourns the Wicked." I love this song so much. I'm going to say this about a lot of the songs, okay? Glinda comes down in her bubble and says, "It's good to see me, isn't it?" Glinda! Glinda's so charming, but she is evil, and we'll get to that. She confirms to the people of Munchkinland that the Wicked Witch of the West is in fact dead. Let's go through the lyrics of "No One Mourns the Wicked." I will try not to sing in this video. Witch of the West is dead, the wickedest witch there ever was. Some of the lyrics are, "And goodness knows the wicked's lives are lonely. Goodness knows the wicked die alone." And I love what Ariana did here, where she like stretch out the die alone. I won't sing, okay? It just shows when you're wicked, you're left only on your own. I want to make it very clear here. The Munchkins, okay, are singing about the Wicked Witch of the West. Glinda is singing about herself. As she's walking around, she's looking around, and no one's paying attention to her. Everyone is celebrating the fact that the Wicked Witch is dead. No one's paying attention to her. She had that. She had someone who was paying attention to her. She had someone who loved her exactly as she was, and she gave it up for power. And now she's looking around, and she's lonely, she's alone, and she knows that she is the wicked who is going to die alone. And it's so heartbreaking because you see it in her. And when they say no one mourns the wicked, she's mourning the wicked. She's mourning Elphaba, and she's mourning the dead. But she still puts up this facade. It's more important to her how people view her versus how she actually is, if that makes any sense. And then during the song, we find out that Elphaba's mom cheated on her dad with a man who was drinking a green elixir, and that's how she gets pregnant with Elphaba and gives birth to a green baby. And immediately from birth, her dad rejects her. He yells, "Get her away from me!" When he said, like, "It's uncanny, it's obscene," and he, like, was yelling, I'm like, fix your tone. Fix your tone. You don't know that your wife cheated on you. So that is your child. Why are you singing about your child like that, sir? Have some decorum. Oh my god. That pissed me off. Fix your tone, little man. I hate the father. I hate that man so much. Oh, put me in a room with him, I swear to God. Her father immediately rejects her, and she was raised by her nanny, Dulcie Bear. Shout out to Dulcie Bear. We love Dulcie Bear in this house. I am pretty sure Dulcie Bear was the one who gave Elphaba those micro braids. Because who else in Munchkinland is doing micro braids? You know what I mean? And then the cutest moment in the entire world happens, and it's baby Elphaba, and she's talking to baby Nessa. Baby Nessa goes, "Yeah, no, yeah." It's so freaking cute. It's the best thing in the entire movie. And in this scene, we see that baby Elphaba idolizes the wizard. She's so excited to meet the wizard someday so he can grant her her heart's desire. Then these little munchkins start bullying her. Nessa is overwhelmed. She starts crying. I'm just so sad, you guys. Elphaba uses her power. She throws rocks at them. Then her dad blames her for everything. Like, he does not treat her kindly from the moment she was born. Because she had green skin, she was rejected by her father, and she was rejected by everybody around her. It's so sad. It's racism. It's obvious. Like, we know what it is, but it's so sad. And, like, she's always blamed for everything by her father. I hate him. I hate him so much. I want him dead. While they continue to sing, Glinda then lights her on fire. Glinda, this is why I could never defend you. You could be mourning, but you still care so much about how you're perceived that you still disrespect her like this, even in the afterlife. Oh, Glinda. Oh my god, they do the goodness, no! I love that part so much. I love that part so much. I didn't even realize I could do it until I tried. I'm a soprano. I learned that in high school choir class. At the end of the song, this messy little munchkin, add her to the list of my favorite characters, Dulcie Bear, and this messy little munchkin goes, "Glinda, weren't you her friend?"
Is it true you were her friend?
Yes.
You are dumb.
You're doing all of this, disrespecting her, but weren't you her friend? I love this little munchkin. I love this messy munchkin. Shout out to her. Glinda kind of walks back where she's like, "I did know her. I mean, that really was a long time ago. Yes, we were friends in school." And then we go back in time to Shiz University. Trigger warning, Bach. Ah! Oh! Bach and the dad. Oh. I hate them so much. I think he's trying to flirt with Glinda, but he's a pathetic little man. She calls him Bick. She immediately dismisses him and calls him Bick.
And now I want to sit back and relax and enjoy my evening. When all of a sudden I hear this agitating, grating voice.
And he has a very robotic way of moving. Moving on, then Elphaba enters, and this is such a wonderful scene, and everyone is looking at her horrified stare. Oh, a person with green skin. You have talking animals. A wolf delivered Elphaba, but green skin. Pay attention to the costuming in the scene. Notice how Elphaba's costume has not changed at all since she was a child, because having an abusive father will stunt your growth emotionally. And the same thing with Nessa. They haven't changed one bit because that's what an abusive father does. Elphaba, who's used to being a quote-unquote spectacle, she's used to everyone being weirded out or creeped out by her, immediately starts saying,
No, I am not seasick.
No, I did not eat grass as a child. And yes,
I've always been green.
This, I'm not even kidding, gave me PTSD. I'm not joking. When I was in elementary school, people would ask me, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Morocco." They said, "Where is that?" I said, "Africa." And they would ask me if I had a pet lion or if we lived in huts made of hay. By the time I got to high school, my immediate response would be, I'm from Morocco. Yes, it's in Africa. No, we did not have pet lions. And no, we did not live in huts. I'm not even joking. I used to say that a lot because that's the level of stupid questions I was getting from these little white Canadian kids. So I fully believe that if there was a green person among us walking around, they would get the same dumb questions as Elphaba. Glinda then offers to fix Elphaba and tells her that she plans on majoring in sorcery and that she will fix her problem.
Problem.
You can tell that Elphaba was hurt by this because Elphaba knows that her greenness is a problem. She already thinks this about herself, so when someone says it out loud and confirms it, it's incredibly heartbreaking. And you could tell in this moment she was hurt. But one thing I love about Elphaba and I respect so much, she won't cower away and become a people pleaser. She stands up for herself. So she immediately tells Glinda, trying to fix me with powers you don't have, that's a bold move. I love that! Being like a pushover and a people pleaser, that's more Glinda than it is Elphaba, and I think that's pretty interesting. Then her ugly ass father comes yelling at her, tells her to stop making a spectacle of herself, starts babying Nessa Rose. He treats Nessa Rose like she's a little angel. He gives Nessa Rose these silver slippers. They are the original ruby slippers in the movie, but for copyright reasons, they couldn't keep them red, so they're silver in this movie. He tells her she should wear them so she can be beautiful from head to her toes. And this is a scene that made me cry because Elphaba's face in this scene, Cynthia. Oh, Cynthia, you're acting the woman that you are. It made me so emotional because you can tell Elphaba wants nothing than to be perceived as beautiful. To be told that she is beautiful and she is loved exactly how she is, but that is just not the world she lives in. And her father treats her like shit, and he tells her to stay with Nessa at Shiz University to look after her. If you are an older sister, like myself, and you have older sister trauma, this movie will bring you out as well, because her father tells her if anything happens to her, basically saying if anything happens to Nessa, it's on you. You are not your own person. You just exist to take care of my favorite child. Oh, this movie, I swear to God. It's a scene that makes me cry every time, and I've seen this movie many, many, many times. I cry each and every single time. I hate that man so freaking much. But anyways, during a school assembly, they introduce Dr. Dilliman, who is the only animal professor left at Shiz University. And then they introduce Madame Morrible, who is a sorcery professor at Shiz University. And then during this assembly, Nessa experiences love at first sight with Bach. Bach! I've seen it all. I can officially die now. Love at first sight with Bach. After the little assembly, Glinda talks to Madame Morrible because she wants to be mentored by her for her sorcery class. Madame Morrible doesn't give a damn about her. She doesn't pay her any mind. And then this woman comes and commits racism and ableism in one go. Like 2 birds, 1 stone.
How tragically beautiful you are. We'll find some place to hide you.
When this lady takes Nessa away, she won't listen to Nessa or Elphaba, so then Elphaba gets overwhelmed and furniture starts flying in the air. Whenever she gets riled up is when her powers come out. Furniture is flying, and then Nessa flies in the air, and then she catches Nessa. I think my sister is just a little neurodivergent. She just gets a little overwhelmed sometimes, you know? You know what I mean? And things fly in the air. Give her a break. With an abusive father like that, and being treated like shit by everybody around her for literally her entire life, I don't blame her for having a little mental issues. Leave my sister alone. A piece of furniture hits a little portrait of the Wizard of Oz, and it falls, and it shows that it used to be a portrait of animal professors. Foreshadowing, I see. Take note of that, okay? Nessa is immediately embarrassed by Elphaba. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna warn you, in this video, I'm going to be a bit of a Nessa defender. I'm so sorry, but with a father like that, I do not expect you to have healthy ways of coping, healthy ways of dealing with things. She literally said this was her chance to start over, meaning her life with their father was so miserable. This is her chance to get away from all that, from all the chaos. And here it is happening all over again. I don't like how she treats her sister. Nessa, and I will never forgive you for that. That is your older sister. She takes care of you. She loves you. I don't like how you treat her. I don't like that you abandoned her in the scene. But I also, with a father like that, I don't blame her for hating, or not really hating her sister, seeing her sister in a bad light when her whole life she was told by their own father that her sister is bad, that her sister is wicked, that her sister is not deserving of love. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope I'm making sense. Madame Morrible takes credit for the act of magic that everyone just witnessed. She goes up to Elphaba and tells her that she has something special and she would love to mentor her. There was a funny scene here where you can see Glinda running in the back. Oh my god, it's so funny. I love this movie so much. And then she asks if anyone would like to volunteer. Glinda volunteers right away, not even knowing what she's volunteering for, and she ends up accidentally volunteering to be Elphaba's new roommate. So now Elphaba is enrolled at Shiz University. She will be mentored in sorcery by Madame Morrible, and she will be Glinda's roommate. This is the first scene where we see Glinda's jealousy. I do believe Glinda loves Elphaba. I really do, and loves her. But she's also jealous of her. Elphaba gets what she wants. She wants to be mentored by Madame Morrible, but Elphaba gets that. And this is the first time we see her jealousy. This is only the first of many. Then they start singing The Wizard and I. Oh, Cynthia, the woman that you are. But let's break down the lyrics, shall we? Madame Morrible tells her, many years I have waited for a gift like yours to appear. Why I predict the wizard might make you his magic grand vizier. My dear, I'll write at once to the wizard. Tell him of you in advance. With a talent like yours, dear, there'll be a definite chance you'll work for the wizard. Da, 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 da. And then Elphaba starts singing. Did that really just happen? Have I actually understood? I won't sing. This weird quirk I've tried to suppress or hide is a talent that could help me meet the wizard. Mind you, just like everybody else, she idolizes the wizard. She loves the wizard. With all his wizard wisdom, with my looks, he won't be blinded. Do you think the wizard is dumb? Or like Munchkins, so small-minded? He'll say to me, I see who you truly are, a girl whom I can rely. Like, she really idolizes the wizard. And that's how we'll begin, The Wizard and I. This scene is another one that makes me cry. My whole life will change, because once you're with the wizard, no one thinks you're strange. No father is not proud of you. No sister acts ashamed. And all of Oz has to love you when by the wizard you're acclaimed. One day he'll say to me, Elphaba, a girl who is so superior, shouldn't a girl who's so good inside have a matching exterior? She equates her greenness with wickedness, with something that's bad, with something that's ugly. So that's why she says, shouldn't a girl who's so good inside have a matching exterior? I'm so sad. And since folks here to an absurd degree, they act like she's a monster, the Loch Ness monster, seem fixated on your verdigris. Wouldn't it be alright by you if I degreenify you? That's her heart's desire, is to no longer be green. And though of course that's not important to me, alright, why not? I'll reply. She's so cute. It says, I know it sounds truly crazy, and true, the vision's hazy, but I swear someday there'll be a celebration throughout Oz that's all to do with me. Oh my god, I'm going to cry. There was a celebration throughout Oz about her, but it was celebrating her death and not her life. And I'll stand there with the wizard, feeling things I never felt, and though I'd never show it, I'd be so happy I could melt. When she said that in the movie theater, I legitimately started like choking up. I was going to lose it. I look around, no one's reacting. How did no one react to that? I'd be so happy I could melt. It's cruel. Cruel, cruel, cruel. It's a beautiful song. Cynthia Erivo did such an incredible job with it. And it breaks my heart every single time. But it really just shows you what Elphaba thinks about the wizard. She thinks he is good. He embodies everything that is good about Oz, about the world that she knows. And once she's with the wizard, he will grant her heart's desire to no longer be green, so she is no longer mistreated by her father, by her sister, and by everyone around her. It's so heartbreaking. But let's move on. Elphaba goes into her and Glinda's dorm and found that she took the majority of the dorm and gave her a tiny little space. Elphaba's having none of her shit. She immediately starts moving things around, and Glinda, being Glinda, tells her, well, since I left you this small space, can you please repay me by maybe leaving me a good word with Madame Morrible? This is what she wants. She wants to be a sorcerer. This is her heart's desire, if you will. She wants to study under Madame Morrible, and she's really bothered by the fact that Elphaba gets this and not her. And she tells her, I know you're the one who made all that stuff fly around. How did you do that? And again, Elphaba gets overwhelmed in this scene. I told you, my sister is probably just a little neurospicy. She gets overwhelmed and breaks the window with her powers. And then we get, what is this feeling? Oh boy, this song is,
Gay.
there's nothing heterosexual about this. This is a haters to lovers song. But let's go through some of the lyrics. There's been some confusion, for you see my roommate is, I love the song, unusually and exceedingly peculiar and altogether quite impossible to describe. Blonde. Oh my god, I love this movie so much. And then they start singing, what is this feeling so sudden and new? I felt the moment I laid eyes on you. Tell me this is straight. My pulse is rushing. My head is reeling. Yes, well, my face is flushing. Guys, I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. This is a love song. This is a love song. They say, what is this feeling? Fervent as a flame. Does it have a name? Yes, it does. It's called homosexuality. Okay? But they call it loathing. Unadulterated loathing. For your face, your hair, your clothing, blah, 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 blah. Every little trait, however small, makes my very flesh begin to crawl. There's such a strange exhilaration in such total detestation. This is a haters to lovers song. And then this is when all the students at Shiz start saying, she's a terror, she's a tartar. We don't mean to show a bias, but Galinda, you're a martyr. Because she's rooming with someone who's green. You bitches are crazy. You're crazy. But this song, wonderful song. I love it so much. I love it. The choreography is great. The singing is great. This song just goes to show that everybody loves Galinda and everybody hates Elphaba. What's new? Then in Dr. Dillamond's class, Galinda is being an absolute menace and almost taunting this poor professor. He is a goat and he doesn't have two front teeth or something like that. So when he says her name, he goes, Galinda. And he starts teaching them about how once upon a time, humans and animals used to be equals. There was animal professors, animal doctors, lawyers, preachers. But once the drought came, they needed someone to blame. And so they turned on the animals. Then Glinda raises her hand and says, why? What does she say? Why can't you teach us history instead of harping on the past? Bitch, are you dumb? Oh, this is another one of those scenes that gave me flashbacks. So many white people. Why are you always harping on the past? Why are you always harping on the past? Because the past still affects the present, bitch. Get away from me. Glinda is one of my favorite characters because she's so interesting and fun to watch. But she's stupid and evil. And then in this scene, oh my god, this scene was so mean. Glinda was taunting the poor goat man, basically telling him it's Galinda. Elphaba jumps in and says, well, some of us are just different. And then Glinda says,
Well, it seems the artichoke is steamed.
And at first I didn't understand what that meant. Artichokes are green. She basically said in front of the entire class, shut up, you broccoli bitch. Glinda, you evil, mean little girl. Oh my god. Dr. Dillamond continues his lesson, and then he like turns this table over, and somebody hate crimed him. They wrote, animals should be seen and not heard. Isn't that something they used to say about women? Ugh. He immediately dismisses class. Elphaba stays behind to help him because she knows what it's like to be othered. And her and the goat, oh my god, not me being racist, her and Dr. Dillamond connect. and they become friends, and it was a really, really sweet moment. During her lessons with Madame Morrible, this is where we see Madame Morrible's manipulation. Like, she is a very manipulative person. She's trying to teach her levitation, but it doesn't work, and she knows the only way for her to use her powers is to get her riled up. So she asks her about Dr. Dilliman. What happened? How does that make her feel? And obviously, her as a green person who's been othered her whole life, she immediately gets worked up and makes the coin levitate. And I took note of that. I was like, ooh, Madame Morrible is manipulative. She may not be a good person. Moving on. Elphaba follows Dr. Dilliman and finds him at a meeting with other animals, or animal professors, I'm not really sure. They talk about how they are being blamed for everything that is going on in Oz, and they are being pretty much ethnically cleansed. This is not fiction. This is not fiction. This is not fiction. They are no longer allowed to speak. They are being imprisoned. They are losing their ability to speak. And Elphaba tells Dr. Dilliman that she'll speak to the wizards and ask him to help the animals. The people of Oz are being taught their whole lives to not question authority. See, here in the real world where we live, if anything goes wrong, most people will immediately start to blame the government. Whereas in this world, they don't do that. They have such faith and trust in authority, in the government, that they think the government will actually help them and do some good. I think the people of Oz are stupid, but I'll get to that in a second. Then on her walk home, that's when she meets Fiyero. Jonathan Bailey. Jonathan Bailey. Oh my God, Jonathan Bailey.
White man's whore.
The straightest gay man there ever was. The straightest gay man right here at Oz. He's gay! Bad news! Oh, straight women everywhere are distraught. Oh, I love the scene of when he meets her. He accidentally knocks her over, and when he sees her green skin, he says, blended with the foliage. That was so funny. And then she reads him to filth, and oh my goodness, I love their banter so much.
No, I did not eat grass as a child.
Oh, you didn't. I did.
I have to say, Jonathan Bailey, you put him in a room with a rock, and he'll have incredible chemistry. He is so good in everything that he does. But I just love the banter between the two of them. It was so cute. Like, I love this. And he has a little blue horse that talks. Apparently, that's the same horse from Bridgerton. Shout out to Bridgerton. He's in the same situation he was in Bridgerton. So, they announced that Fiyero will be attending Shiz University as a new student. Glinda wants him right away. She doesn't want him because he's cute or she likes him. She hasn't really gotten to know him. He has status. He is a prince, and that's all she cares about, is status. So she immediately wants him. And when they meet, their banter is also cute, I have to say. Like, their banter is also cute. Like, again, he has great chemistry with everybody.
Are you a recently arrived student?
I am, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
They go to the library, which Glinda calls the book place. And they start singing, dancing through life, swimming in circles, whatever the lyrics are. Let's go through the lyrics of Dancing Through Life. Fiyero says, the trouble with school is they always try to teach you the wrong lesson. Believe me, I've been kicked out of enough of them to know. They want you to become less callow, less shallow. But I say, why invite stress in? Stop studying strife and learn to live the unexamined life. And then he says, life's more painless for the brainless. Moving on. Dancing through life, no need to tough it. When you can slough it off, as I do, nothing matters. But knowing nothing matters, it's just life, so keep dancing through. Dancing through life, mindless and careless. This is a whole song about how much he just doesn't care. He's so mindless, he's so careless. And this is just how Fiyero wants everyone to perceive him, as someone who doesn't care. He's just someone who just wants to have fun and live. And then he invites them all to go down to the Ozdust. In this scene, he starts stomping on books. Worst scene. Anytime I watch this movie, I turn around. I cannot watch that scene. I hate it so much. And then Bach! Bach shows up out of nowhere. Won't leave Glinda alone. Bach asks Glinda for a dance at the Ozdust, but instead, she tells him to ask the tragically beautiful Nessa. she's tragically beautiful because she's in a wheelchair. That's ableism, just so you know. She basically said, oh, I pity that poor girl in a wheelchair. Go ask her out. And Bach does just that. He's a weirdo and a coward. Now, pay attention to where she put the handkerchief, though, in this scene. Moving on. Then Glinda and Fiora basically start dating at this point. Bach asks her out. Nessa is excited. She's telling Elphaba about this, and that's when we get the iconic scene. Let's just go through the lyrics here. She says, you'll never guess what happened to me. That perfectly adorable munchkin boy just asked me out. He was too shy to ask me, but Glinda emboldened him. And then Elphaba's a bit iffy about it because it's Glinda. But Nessa Rose, with the tone I did not like, she goes, Don't you dare say another word against her. Girl, you don't know her. That's your sister's roommate. Shouldn't you listen to your sister? I'm about to have the happiest night of my life, thanks to Glinda. Happiest night of her life with Bach. I need you to listen to Nessa, okay? Her life has been so bad with their father. The happiest night of her life will be with Bach. And she says, finally, for this one night, I'm about to have a fun night. She's never had fun in her life. I just want you to understand, okay? With this munchkin boy, she says it like it's a slur. Munchkin boy, Glinda found for me. And then she continues to say, and I only wish there were something I could do for her to repay her. And then we get the iconic, we deserve each other, me and Bach. I love this movie so much. And then back in her dorm room, Glinda is getting ready for the Ozdust, and she's wearing this gorgeous flower dress. I love this dress so much. And then Bonye, I don't know his character's name. I'm so sorry. I watched this movie over and over. I still don't know his character's name, but he finds the iconic witch's hat that belonged to Glinda's grandmother. It's an ugly hat. They hate it. And she says, I would give it to someone. I don't hate anyone that much. And they convince her to give it to Elphaba. At first, she's hesitant. And then this is when we get another scene of her jealousy. Elphaba comes into the room. Glinda sees all her sorcery book. She's immediately jealous, okay, because she gets what she wants. Again, she wants to be a sorceress. She wants to study under Madame Morrible. But she doesn't get that. Elphaba does. She immediately gets jealous, gives her the hat, and she says, how you should join us tonight at the Ozdust. And don't tell me you have nothing to wear. You can wear this. You deserve each other. This hat and you're both so smart. You deserve each other. So here, out of the goodness of my own heart. So Elphaba is thinking, Glinda was so kind to my sister, and she was so kind to me. I will grant her heart's desire. I will give her what she wants, which is to study under Madame Morrible. So she goes to Madame Morrible and basically says, it's both of us or it's none of us. Now we're at the Ozdust. I want you to pay attention to Nessa Rose's outfit. It's exactly the same as the outfit she wore as a child. Once again, this is the costuming's way of telling us that there's been no growth for these girls since their childhood. They've been emotionally stunted by their abusive father. Her father coddling her and keeping her away from the rest of the world because of her disability has stunted her. That's why she wants to get away. She wants to get out. She wants to be in the real world. She wants to be at the university. She finally wants to just have a normal life. I just really want you to pay attention to this. I know a lot of people hate Nessa for how she treated Elphaba, and I'm not crazy about her either, but I really need you to pay attention to this. They are both victims of their circumstance. You know, you can't choose who your parents are, and unfortunately for Nessa and Elphaba, their father is the literal devil. Madame Morrible shows up at the Ozdust and tells Glinda what Elphaba did for her, and Madame Morrible has her foot on Glinda's neck.
You are... Seriously, I admire you so.
Enough. Actually, I have no faith in you. You do not have what it takes. I hope you prove me wrong. I doubt you will.
She does not like this girl, and she lets it be known. Glinda does not care. She just wants to be accepted. She'll do anything to be accepted. She can't take a hint. It doesn't matter if someone's being mean to her. She'll just keep going. Then Elphaba shows up, and of course, Glinda immediately feels bad because she's wearing the hat and everybody is making fun of her. Oh, this is another one of those scenes that just breaks my heart. She starts dancing, and this is one of those very quiet but emotional scenes where Glinda and Elphaba start to see each other. And there's this moment where Fiyero says, well, she doesn't give a crap about what anyone thinks. And Glinda says, of course she does. And it mirrors the scene of when they first met.
I could care less what others think.
Couldn't.
What?
You couldn't care less what other people think. Though, I doubt that.
I'll say this much. She doesn't give a twig what anyone thinks.
Of course she does.
And this is a scene where they start to see each other. They were both dancing and mirroring each other. I saw someone say that Glinda risked a lot in this scene. By siding with Elphaba and showing Elphaba kindness, she risked being shunned by society. But lucky for her, everyone started to accept Elphaba once Glinda accepted her. But I, in my opinion, I don't think this scene is equal. Because what Elphaba did for Glinda is give her everything she's wanted. She wants to be in Madame Morble's class. She wants to be a sorceress, right? All Glinda did was show her human kindness. And I don't think it's equal, in my opinion. Just showing her human kindness and finally treating her like a human being and not calling her an artichoke, I don't think it's equal to what Elphaba did. But that is just my opinion. Of course, we can all disagree. So now that they are friends, they're besties, they all dance at the Ozdust together. Going back to Nessa and Bach, because, you know, they chop these scenes up. Nessa tells Bach, I know you only asked me out because I'm in this chair. And I think he was about to confess. And then he sees Glinda and Fiyero kissing and immediately changes his tune. Literally, he starts screaming,
"'Cause you are so beautiful."
And you, like, calm down, SpongeBob. Calm down. This is a good thing, like, he's screaming and shouting, declaring his love for her. He's saying, you are beautiful and I like you. But he doesn't, and that's what makes it so sick and twisted. He doesn't. He just got rejected by Glinda, so he runs to Nessa. Ugh! Heartless little man. Now that Glinda and Elphaba are friends, they've connected at the Ozdust, back at their dorm room, they start sharing their secret. Then Elphaba shares with her that it's her fault that her sister is in a wheelchair. Basically, after she was born green, her father was so scared of having another green baby. I hate that man so much. He forced his wife to drink milk flowers, basically bleach. He forced her to drink bleach, which made Nessa come too soon before her legs could develop, and then her mom died after childbirth. I think that's what happened. And she blames herself for all of this because her father blames her for all of this. He's basically saying, if you weren't born green, I wouldn't have to go through all of this to make sure I don't have another one of you. I hate this man so much. Glinda tells her that it's not her fault her sister can't walk. It's the milk flower's fault. I would argue it's the father's fault. I hate that man so freaking much. Now, I do not condone cheating. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying I understand Elphaba's mom. I do. Because with a man like that... Moving on. And then Glinda starts singing Popular. Now let's go through the lyrics. She says, Elfie, now that we're friends, I've decided to make you my new project. I have to say, even in this song, even after they become friends, Glinda still continues to insult Elphaba. And in this song, too, she says, whenever I see someone less fortunate than I, and let's face it, right, who isn't less fortunate than I, my tender heart starts to bleed. She's so good. And when someone needs a makeover, I simply have to take over. I know exactly what they need. And even in your case, though it's the toughest case I've yet to face, still insulting her. They're supposed to be besties, and here she is, still insulting her and belittling her. She says, I'll show you what shoes to wear, how to fix your hair, everything that really counts to be popular. The outside is what counts to be popular, not the inside. And then she said, you'll hang with the right cohorts, you'll be good at sports, you'll know the slang you've got to know. Let's start, because you've got an awfully long way to go. Don't be offended by my frank analysis. Oh, how dare I be offended when you're calling me ugly? And you say I've got a long way to go. She's basically saying, like, no offense, but it's the truth, like... And with an assist from me, you'll be who you'll be instead of the dreary who you were, are. Like, Glinda, what the fuck? This is so mean. She says, it's all about popular. It's not about aptitude. It's the way you're viewed. This is what's most important to Glinda. She cares more about how she's perceived by others versus how she actually is. And then she finishes the song with, you'll be popular, just not quite as popular as me. I'll make you good, I'll make you pretty, but you will never be at my level. I will do my best. I will always keep you down. This song is foreshadow. I hope you understand. It's foreshadow. You will never be better than me, is what she's saying. Okay? If you ever get there, I will bring you down. Because she's so quirky and so funny and so charming, she distracts you from how truly wicked she is. She's such a fun and interesting character to watch, but she is not good. Glinda the Good is pure fiction, it's lies. She is not good.
You're beautiful.
From this point on, Elphaba fully wears her hair down. She's been Galindified. He tells her, you've been Galindified, but you don't have to be that way. I need to calm down so I can finish this video before my parents come home because I can't have them see me like this. They go to Dr. Dilliman's class and he tells them that animals are no longer permitted to teach at Shiz. And then the police come in. They look like Nazis. And they burst right in and take Dr. Dilliman and basically arrest him. Everyone in class stays completely silent. Excuse me, guys. I think I'm losing my voice. Holy crap. Except Elphaba. She's the only one who speaks up. They're not taught to challenge authority. When someone says this is how things are, then that's how things are. The new professor comes in. He's a human. He has a lion cub with him. He says if you keep them caged all their life, they are less likely to learn to talk. Not a single person stands up except Elphaba. She knows what it's like to be othered, but she's also been raised by animals. Humans have been nothing but awful to her. Animals have been nothing but gentle to her. She doesn't only care about it because it's unfair, which is enough to care. It's deeper than that for her. No one speaks. Everyone in class immediately starts taking notes. No one has a problem with that. She gets overwhelmed, and with the poppies she had in her hand, she brought them for Dr. Dilliman. They put everyone to sleep except herself, Elphaba, and Fiyero. And Fiyero immediately, without any hesitation, runs, grabs a lion cub, and he says, are you coming? We gotta rescue him. That's my man! That's my man! He's just a good guy. Like, we're meant to understand him as just a good guy. He cares for animals because, well, it's just unfair. At some point, they were our equals. We've worked with them, and now we're just going to cage them, and no one's going to think there's a problem with that. Like, what the hell's going on at Oz, you know? Fiyero and Elphaba have a moment where she tells him, you act so careless and so shallow. You know, everything he was singing about in Dancing Through Life. But if you really truly were so careless, you wouldn't be so unhappy. I love this scene so much because she's telling him, I see you because I am the same way. I am also unhappy because I care so much. Her seeing him for who he truly is has him shook. He is so shook up, he doesn't know what to do. He starts... I love this scene so much. And then she starts singing I'm Not That Girl. Another one of my favorites. Just such a beautiful song. Beautiful delivery by Cynthia Erivo. Let's go through the lyrics. Once again, you know the drill. She says, don't dream too far. Don't lose sight of who you are. Don't remember that rush of joy. He could be that boy. I'm not that girl. She who's winsome, she wins him. Gold hair and a gentle curl. That's the girl he chose, and heaven knows I'm not that girl. I understand this song in two ways. Yes, she's saying I'm not a pretty white blonde girl, and that's why I'm not his type. I'm not the girl he chose, and that's why I'll never be that girl, and that's why I can never be with him. But she's also saying, wishing only wounds the heart. I wasn't born for the rose and pearl. There's the girl I know, he loves her so. I'm not that girl. She's also saying here, she is not worthy. She doesn't believe she is worthy of love. She doesn't believe she can be loved. She is not a girl who's worthy of love. She's not meant for the rose and pearl. She's not meant to experience good things. I hate this movie. Let's move on. Glinda wakes up, sees that Fiyero and Elphaba are gone. I will not cry because I'll ruin my makeup. Fiyero and Elphaba are gone, and she knows. She knows there's a connection between the two of them. She knows. You cannot tell me that she does not know. After that, Elphaba gets an invitation to meet the wizard. I want you to pay attention to Glinda's outfit here. It is exactly the same as another outfit that Elphaba wore. I know that's their school uniform, but you know how they said that Elphaba has been Galindified? I think Galinda has been Elphabified. Okay? Just take note of that. I'll come back to that later. And everyone there is celebrating her. Because I guess after the Ozdust, they all start humanizing her. And they all love her now. They're all friends. They see her as an equal. And they're all there celebrating her because she finally gets to see, or to go meet the wizard. Ooh. Then during the scene, it starts raining, right? And Madame Morrible says that weather is her specialty. She makes it all go away. And then she said, we mustn't let you get wet. Does Madame Morrible, 1, know that if she gets wet, she will melt? Secondly, it brings me to my list of questions. 1, has Elphaba never been caught in the rain? How does she bathe? Or does she bathe at all? For me, I was thinking that the more wicked she becomes, the more evil, the more powerful she becomes, the more water becomes a threat. I thought that's what they were going to make it seem. Meaning, as a child, when you know she has these powers, but she hasn't really come into them yet, water is no problem. It's when she fully harnesses her powers and she becomes fully powerful, that's when water becomes a threat. It sounds ridiculous, but you know, why not? It's fiction. You can write whatever you want. But it seems like water is always a threat, or has always been a threat. In that case, like, how does she drink water? How come her tears don't melt her? Like, if you've ever seen H2O, just add water, the cute little Australian mermaid show, then you know how hard it is to avoid water. Anyone has any answers for me, please let me know, because I am not a Wicked expert. I simply just love the movie. But I'm really curious, like, is this a plot hole? You know what I mean? But anyways, the train arrives, and it's a real train. Like, they built a full train. The train arrives to take her to the Emerald City so she can visit the Wizard of Oz. Massive trigger warning. The 2 demons meet. Bach and Nessa's father, they meet. Her father tells her, you better take good care of my daughter because she's so precious to me. And Bach looks scared shitless because he knows he's in love with someone else. He's not going to be able to take care of Nessa. I hate them so much. I hate them. Why do these men exist? Glinda tells Elphaba that Fiyero has been very distant ever since that whole lion cub incident happened. He's been distant because he's in love with someone else. Then Fiyero arrives to say goodbye to Elphaba, and he comes in with a poppy. Oh, he is filthy. He is a filthy man with a poppy flower on his jacket. Glinda knows. Glinda knows that she is losing him to Elphaba, and she knows that their only connection is their love for animals, right? So she announces to everybody that in protest what happened to Dr. Dilliman, and to stand in solidarity with Dr. Dilliman, she is changing her name from Galinda, because he couldn't pronounce Galinda, to Glinda. Obviously, you and I both know that this is stupid. Glinda doesn't care about the animals, right? She doesn't care what happens to them. Glinda only cares for Glinda, right? However, she sees that she's losing Fiyero, and the one thing that Elphaba and Fiyero have in common is their love for animals, so now she's pretending to love the animals and to care for the animals. During this whole scene, Buck is so enthralled. Ooh, is that a word? Enthralled? It is now. Buck is so enthralled by Glinda. Nessa notices. She knows that he likes her, and she leaves looking pissed. Elphaba gets on the train, and it leaves off, and then Glinda gives her a letter. In the letter, it says, I hope you get what your heart desires. In this beautiful handwriting. Oh my goodness. And that prompts Elphaba to invite Glinda to go see the wizard. Once they get to the Emerald City, they start singing One Short Day. One Short Day is the movie's way of telling us that these two have one short day, just one small moment of joy before everything goes to shit. Once they get to the Emerald City, they're putting on a play, okay, and the announcer says, presenting the absolute factual story of our wonderful Wizard of Oz, starring the Emerald City players. And the Emerald City players are Idina Menzel and Christian Chenoweth, the original Elphaba and Glinda. And my sister and I looked at each other and gasped. We were so shocked to see them in the movie. No one in the movie theater reacted. Like, that should have gotten a Marvel level reaction. I want to see people jumping and screaming. No one reacted. I myself, I'm not super familiar with the original play, but that's even I was super excited to see them. This is a very exciting moment. But like, damn. In this song, they basically say, there's this book, the Grimoire, the magical book, and all those who read it pass away, till one day no one could. But the wise ones left a prophecy in Odd's darkest hour through we cannot say when, there will be one with the power to read the Grimmery again. This is what I mean when I say that the people of Oz are stupid as hell. Obviously, this is a white man from America. A white man from America. If you tell him that only the one true wizard, the true leader of Oz, can read this Grimmery, he's going to pretend to read it. He just goes, Omaha, Omaha. This man is just naming cities in America. At the end of the song, this happens. Why did she hesitate before saying friends? Perhaps because Glinda is in love with Elphaba? I believe she's in love with Elphaba. I also believe she's jealous of Elphaba. Then we get the iconic, the wizard will see you now. And they walk in to meet the wizard. There was a bunch of monkeys there. They looked scary as hell. And they're not talking. There was a scary robot man who's talking, and then Jeff Goldblum comes out. Ariana's reaction to this is so funny.
A man.
I think she was more scared by the man than the scary robot thing. The wizard is very charming, very well-spoken. He starts singing A Sentimental Man. Let's go through the lyrics very quickly. Anytime a man talks about how good of a person he is, how he's a good man, he's a good person, okay, that's a red flag. And this whole song, that's what it's about. He says, I am a sentimental man who's always longed to be a father. Moving on. That's why I do the best I can to treat each citizen of Oz as my son or daughter. For I am a sentimental man. I'm such a good guy. I'm such a good person. Guys like me are so hard to find, so hard to come by. He shows them a diorama of the Oz of tomorrow, and he hands Elphaba a little doll of herself so he can put it in the diorama, and she's green. The wizard is someone she's looked up to her entire life and is always admired, and for him to accept her exactly as she is, it meant a lot to her in that moment. And she goes, she's green. And he goes, well, she doesn't have to be if that's your heart's desire. And she goes, no. My heart's desire is to save the animals. Elphaba is an incredibly selfless person. Even if she still wants to be degreenified, it's more important to her to save the animals, so she'll sacrifice her deepest desire to help someone else. Ugh. And then Madame Morrible walks in, again, foot permanently glued on Glinda's neck.
I couldn't miss your big moment. Neither could you, I see.
And then this is another scene where Madame Morrible's manipulation kicks in, where they show Elphaba the Grimmery, and she immediately says, like, oh, it's okay if you're not ready. She knows that Elphaba has been underestimated her whole life. So she knows by saying this, Elphaba will immediately go, no, let me try, I think I can do it. Manipulative woman. The Grimmery opens for her right away, and the wizard tells her, again, another scene of manipulation, because he knows she cares about the animals. So he tells her that Chistry, the monkey, is like the leader of their, monkey gang or whatever, and he's always wanted to fly. So Elphaba starts reading the Grimmery. She can read it. She is the long-lost wizard who can save Oz. She starts reading a spell, and it gives Chistry wings, but it's an incredibly painful process. And then she accidentally realizes that she gave all the monkeys wings. Two things. They never disclosed to her that by giving Chistry wings, she's giving wings to everybody. And two, they never told her that the spell can't be reversed. We don't even know if that's true or not. It was Madame Morrible who said that, but I don't trust her. But these are things that should have been disclosed to her before she started doing spells, but okay. And then they inform her that the flying monkeys will be used as spies to spy on rebel animal behavior. Dun dun dun! The government is the bad guy. Who's shocked? Not I. That's for damn sure. The wizard and Madame Morrible are the ones who have been imprisoning the animals, genociding the animals, ethnically cleansing the animals. Once again, this is not fiction. This is happening in our real world. And then the wizard says, back where I'm from, which is America. What did I say about him being a white man from America? He says the best way to bring people together is to give them a good enemy. Fascism. This is called fascism, by the way. Elphaba asks him, why didn't you give them wings? And she realizes He doesn't have any powers. He's a fraud. He can't read the Grimoire. He's a con man. Like I said, he's a white man from America. What did y'all expect? I know they don't know about America, but it's just like, you told this man about the Grimoire. Of course he pretends to read it. Hello? Glinda's combination of still being brainwashed to respect authority whilst also having no care for the animals, she immediately jumps in and begs Elphaba to listen to them. Elphaba, just listen to them. They must have a good reason. Like, read the room, bitch. They're genociding animals. The wizard tells Elphaba that he can give her anything she wants and he can give Glinda a good life. Now there's something in it for Glinda. If Glinda can get something out of this, she will do everything in her power to get that very thing. She's going to try to stop Elphaba. Elphaba takes the Grimoire and runs off. Madame Morrible tells Glinda, if you want to do some good, go get her back. And while Elphaba's running off, Glinda is running after her. The monkeys attack them, and I want you to pay attention. They ripped off one of Glinda's piece of clothing. This piece of clothing had like puffy sleeve, which is Elphaba's signature look. By them ripping off this jacket, it's like they're taking Elphaba off of her. And that's, again, the movie's way of telling us there's no longer an Elphaba and Glinda. They are going their separate ways. And then they start singing Defying Gravity. Now you need to bear with me here because Defying Gravity lasts 17 minutes in this movie. They sing it, they break, they sing it, they break. So just stay with me here while I go through this. Elphaba, why couldn't you stay calm for once instead of flying off the handle? I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now. I hope you're happy how you've hurt your cause forever. I hope you think you're clever. And then Elphaba says, I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy too. I hope you're proud how you would grovel in submission to feed your own ambition. Yes! Yes! Call her out. Glinda is only doing this to benefit herself, whereas Elphaba is doing this to benefit everybody else. Grovel in submission to feed your own ambition. Read her to filth! Oh! And then Madame Morrible announces to all of Oz that there is a wicked witch who stole the Grimoire. And she says her green skin is but an outward manifestorium of her twisted nature, and then calls her a wicked witch. Immediately weaponizes her green skin. This is a PR disaster. A PR disaster not even Johnny Depp's team could fix. You have to understand that everyone in Oz has treated her like shit her whole life simply based on her looks. They never had a real reason to hate her. She's always been good. She's always been sweet. She's always been kind. They've never had a real reason to hate her, and yet they hate her. Now that someone in power, someone they greatly look up to, is giving them a reason to hate her, there is no turning back. Now she has confirmed to everybody that her greenness is indeed what makes her wicked. You had every right all along to hate her. There is no coming back from this. It is a PR disaster. When Glinda says, Elfie, listen to me, just say you're sorry. You can still be with the wizard. What you've worked and waited for, you can have all you've ever wanted. She cannot just say sorry and they would forgive her. It's too late. It is far too late. Now that Madame Morrible has confirmed to everybody that you were right, she is evil. She is wicked. She is not worthy of love. You were right to treat her like crap. Now that she has confirmed that to them, there is no going back. Sorry is not going to fix things, Glinda. But Elphaba is not scared. She tells Glinda, it's the wizard who should be scared of me. And she stays strong. And she says, something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instinct, close my eyes, and leap. It's time to try defying gravity. Then Glinda goes and pisses me off. She goes, can I make you understand you're having delusions of grandeur? Bitch, from the moment I met you, I was making furniture fly in the air. Okay? I'm the only one who can read the Grimoire. You see that the Wizard of Oz is a fraud. He can't do what I do. I'm the most powerful person in all of Oz. And you want to say you're having delusions of grandeur? I will punch you in the face, Glinda. I will punch you in the face. Elphaba responds, I'm through accepting limits. Because it's people. People are bringing her down. She even says, it's time for me to defy gravity and you can't pull me down. People have kept her down her whole life, told her you are not good enough. You're ugly. You're this, you're this, you're that. They can no longer keep her down. I'm through accepting limits because someone says they're so. She's done listening to people. She's only going to trust herself from now on, because people have done nothing but disappoint her. Some things I cannot change, but till I'll try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love. I guess I've lost. Well, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. If love means losing herself and losing everything that makes her who she is, it comes at much too high a cost. If changing all her values to keep Glinda and keep this quote-unquote good life, it comes at much too high a cost. It is not worth it. Losing love, I guess I've lost. These people never loved you because they never loved you for who you truly are. Then she does a spell, which makes the broom rise and fly to her. Elphaba tells Glinda, come with me. And this is how I found out that Elphaba must really love Glinda, because she believes in her too much. She says, come with me, think of what we can do, unlimited. Together we're unlimited. Together we'll be the greatest team there's ever been, Glinda. Dream the way we plan them. And then Glinda says, if we work in tandem, girl, you don't have any powers. What are you talking about? Work in tandem. I'll be carrying the load. We can't work together. You can't do shit without me. Ugh. She loves her. She loves her. This is how I knew that she loves her. Glinda can't help her. She'll only hold her back. And yet she still says, let's go. Let's leave together. Glinda does not answer. And the lack of answer is the answer. She is not going. Staying here will benefit her far more than leaving with Elphaba and basically becoming a social pariah. Glinda cannot not be liked. It's very important to her for everyone to like her and to love her. And that's why she cannot leave. And then Elphaba starts shaking, and Glinda goes to get her a cape to cover her. She's not shaking because she's cold. She's shaking because she's realizing that she's all alone. She's losing everything and everyone. But it's a risk worth taking than siding with this fascist regime. Then the guards take Glinda, and Elphaba starts flying, but then she falls. And as she's falling, she's hearing her father's voice and the children who were bullying her at the beginning of the movie. She's hearing all the voices of the people who are bringing her down, pulling her down, keeping her down. But then she sees a reflection of her child self, and she reaches. And her reaching out to herself and saying, I accept you exactly as you are, that's what saved her. She's no longer going to allow these people who are pulling her down, literally both physically and metaphorically, these people who are bringing her down, she's no longer going to give them power. She is going to believe in herself, accept herself, and then she gets on the broom and soars and flies. And she says, so if you care to find me, look to the western sky. As someone told me lately, everyone deserves a chance to fly, referring to the wizard. And if I'm flying solo, at least I'm flying free. Woo! I recently had a friend who was going through a breakup, and she was like, oh my god, like, I don't know how to be alone. I don't know how to not be in a relationship. And I literally said to her, if you are flying solo, at least you're flying free. You don't have some ugly man bringing you down and take you down with him. And she was like, ooh. I said, yeah, wicked, baby, wicked. And then she said, to those who ground me, to those who are keeping me down, to those who are holding me back, take a message back from me. It's so powerful. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. We see, as Madame Morrible is talking over the speaker and telling everyone about Elphaba, that Elphaba's father is having a heart attack. Good. I hope he dies. I hope he dies a miserable death. And then Fiyero immediately takes off running. Oh, that man does not hesitate. I love him so much. And then Madame Morrible goes and gives Glinda a hug. And there it is. There it is. This is everything that Glinda has ever wanted. She finally gets it. From the very beginning, she told us what she wants. She wants Madame Morrible's approval, and that's exactly what she gets. She finally gets everything she wanted. Her betraying Elphaba and losing Elphaba is worth it to her, because she finally gets what she wants, which is to be with Madame Morrible. And then she causes a power outage in all of Oz. The wizard looks like he's about to shit his pants, and then she takes off flying, and that is the end of Wicked Part 1. Oh, I finally filmed this video. Oh my god, I've been waiting to do this video for weeks. I don't know if you can hear from my voice, I've been sick, and that's why I haven't been able to make this video, because I was like bedridden for a while there. But finally I'm done. I gotta take off this green face before my parents come home and I embarrass myself. But anyways, Thank you so much for watching this video if you stayed this long. Like I said, I have a feeling it's going to be a long video, but thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. My goal this year is to get to 1,000 subscribers. Let's hope I do it. And yes, that is everything I have to say today. Thank you for watching. I'll try to be more consistent. I'll try to come back. I'll try to post more videos. Leave me recommendations. I already have a list of videos I want to make, but leave me recommendations. Tell me what you want to see from me. And that is everything. I can't believe I'm done.